All right, that's our starting one. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff now, and he's going to make something incredible. He told me so.
What I thought we would do today is make three things that are related. I thought we would make chocolate Italian ices, chocolate cream ices, and chocolate ice cream. So we would cover the gamut of whatever you want to sell. And besides, in my class, that's what they told me to do, so that's what I'll do. We'll start off with ices. And I have a feeling that by the time you get to the ice cream, you'll have a different preconception of ices and cream ice. As good as they are, the first one will be great, second one will be a little better, third one will be different. So we'll start with making chocolate Italian ices, only instead of just chocolate Italian ices, we'll make chocolate chip brownie Italian ices. It used to be when I grew up that you would go to a fair or festival or maybe a store. They didn't have ices stores, but you would get lemon cherry or chocolate Italian ices. That was it. And then things changed. And I have a friend who opened a store, and he has 175 flavors of ices. And they run everything. As much as I like to invent ice cream flavors, he likes to invent ices flavors. And you can make them, the sky's the limit. And I don't have a deal with Steve on these machines, but these machines allow you to just throw everything in, turn it on, and bingo, you got great stuff. So we'll start with 3 quarts of water. Italian ice is mostly water. All right, I'll do it his way. His way says we dissolve the sugar in the water beforehand. I've been running 300,000 gallons of ices and ice cream, and I just pour the sugar in the machine, but I'm in his house. So we'll do it his way. We'll pour the sugar in the water to dissolve it. How much? A full bag. A full bag. And we'll probably add some more. So, but you can, it's his machine, but I have a 24 quart Emery in my store, and I just pour the sugar in. I make sure it's spinning while I do it, but done, you know. So be it.
Is there a difference in the finished product if you dissolve it this way as opposed to pre-dissolved?
No. And it's just easier, just dump it. I'm telling you, I dump everything in that machine. Frozen things, sugar, brown sugar, anything. It matters not. So we'll put this in here, and you see the problem? There's the problem right there. The problem is all this sugar doesn't go in there.
Never do an act with a dog.
Dogs or kids?
Both.
Well, if we have to, we'll just add some more sugar. Okay, sugar, water.
Mix.
No mix, okay. Italian ices.
Ah.
And then we'll turn it on. Now let's add some chocolate chips. And a couple of brownies. How many chocolate chips? I didn't count them. They're so little. And we'll throw in some brownies. How many chocolate chips? Yes, don't try this with any other machine. So what do we have in there? We have some brownies, chocolate chips, and let's add, this is great stuff. This is Hershey's Special Dark. Go away, little boy, bother me. This is Hershey's Special Dark. It's great syrup. Now I wasn't going to use this today. I brought my Ghirardelli powder, but I want to see the difference in this great Hershey's to my Ghirardelli. So you'll tell me. Okay? Why are you sitting there?
I've never seen our show before.
Oh, okay. All right. What happened to the trash? Trash?
No.
Oh.
No.
At this point, after we add some more chocolate, this is the point where you want, I've never made this, so this is the point where you want to see what it tastes like. Because now you can doctor it a little. If it's not sweet enough, you can make it sweeter. If it's too sweet, you can add more water. If there's not enough, whatever. My mic on?
Yeah, we hear you.
That's pretty good. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Except for the River Jordan here.
Now, with Italian ices, you can taste the product in advance and know exactly what you're going to get. It doesn't change. Ice cream, as I mentioned before, does change.
Go. That was pretty simple. And like I said, I've never made this before, so we'll try it. We'll see what happens. Now, what can you add to this?
Nuts.
What?
Nuts.
Nuts. Yeah, you can make chocolate chip nut Italian ices. What else can you add? What would you add? What? Okay. You can add anything. You could add cookies to it, yes.
How about a chocolate liqueur?
Sure. Sure, anything. You can add anything. Whatever you want. And that's why your ice cream store will be different from mine. Won't be as good, but it'll be different from mine. And yours will be different from his. That's what it is. Now, I teach this in my class that you may like your ice creams or your product sweeter. He may not. And ultimately, you're the judge. You can say your customer's the judge, but only after you make the ice creams. After 6 weeks, when you realize that your chocolate nut chip ices didn't sell, well, then you got to figure out why. And you'll ask you, why aren't you buying it? Is it not sweet enough? Is it too coarse? Is it too sweet? Not enough flavor? That ice cream before I thought needed more flavor. It may work fine in yours. In a Latin community, got to have it sweeter. Any questions? Come on, you're killing me here. Couple of questions.
You're very informative, sir.
I didn't ask for comments, I asked for questions.
While we're waiting for the product, the smaller machines are built air-cooled. You have to cool the engine one way or the other. Your home refrigerator has a very small 1/8 horsepower compressor. It's literally sucking air in from the bottom front and blowing it out the back, and it's so little you don't even notice it. With the CB350 and the 200, they are air-cooled. They're not throwing out a lot of heat, but that's how we're cooling the engine, is by bringing in room temperature air and circulating it through with a fan and blowing it out. When you get into the bigger machines, we build them either water-cooled or air-cooled. Again, we have to cool the engine. We can do it with a large condenser and a big fan, which will take this room from 70 degrees up to 80 degrees in about an hour. So you're going to pay for additional air conditioning in order to keep this room comfortable. The other way to do it is the way this machine's running, is water cooled. And we're taking tap water and circulating it around the engine and then throwing it out down the drain. It sounds environmentally awful, but it's not, because it's using a minimal amount of water. We can use it a second time. It's actually draining into this sink. Everything's running through pure copper lines until we get to the end, and I could hook it up with sanitary hoses if I wanted. So I could use that water in that sink, which is 108 degrees, to rinse out tubs and utensils.
I do.
You do?
I do.
So you're really getting double use out of your water.
Yeah.
Water,
triple use. I make lemonade after it's all done also.
I somehow don't believe that. Water is expensive, sewer is expensive. That's true all over the country. But your water bill went up about 4 cents this year. Water prices go up very slowly. If I have to take the heat out of this room in the form of air conditioning, it's based on fossil fuel, and that is dependent on where things are happening in the world. It can get very expensive. I mean, it's a pretty good assumption that 10 years from now, and this machine has a life of 45 years, 10 years from now, your electric bill is going to be substantially higher than your water bill. So water cooled is preferred. As far as the operation of the machine, they run exactly the same. So about 90% of the bigger machines are water cooled. The other 10% are for locations where water is not available.
Where would that be?
Jamaica.
In the Sahara?
I guess the Sahara.
The Gobi's ice
Desert.
cream.
Yeah. Himalayan ice cream company in Nepal.
It's the Gobi Desert ice cream store.
Okay, anything you want as long as it's melted. So we can, you'd use it in like a Caribbean island. Los Angeles is they don't allow the use of water-cooled machines, so you would buy it for there. But as far as efficiency of operating the product, machine, the speed and all, they're identical. Yes? You had a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, we definitely have a smaller room than this for making our ice cream. We own the machine that's the next one up from that. Is that going to overheat this room like crazy?
Is it an air-cooled machine?
Yeah.
It's going to create some heat, yes.
Horrible hot or not horrible?
No, well...
I would like to ask Jeff. He seems to be the first.
I have a 24 quart Emery, and my room, although it's somewhat sectioned off, it's pretty much a room, and it's only 8 feet by 10 feet. That's my kitchen. And I have the water-cooled 24 quart. And that's not your question, is it?
No, ours is air-cooled.
Okay. Well, I started with the 6 quart air-cooled, and just to be honest, and maybe disagree with Steve a little bit, I don't think any of it matters. It's not going to raise the temperature in your room. I know you say it does, but it's not going to affect anything. If you, what part of the country are you in?
It's going to be Indio. We're going to have concerts.
California, Southern California.
Yeah.
So your air conditioner's on anyway in the store, right?
Oh, full blast. It's 120 outside.
Yeah, same thing in Florida. And if your air conditioner's on, it's negligible that this is going to change anything. And in the water-cooled, the increase in electricity usage, negligible. Sorry to disappoint. But.
No, that's fine. Just want you to know that they can be built either way. There's another manufacturing point that's important to know about on the bigger machines is when your 220 volt power comes into your building, everywhere in North America is 220 volt. I don't care what kind, it can be your garage. It has 220 volt power. and then it's broken down at your breaker box into 110 volt outlets. That's what all those different breakers are. These machines run on 220 volt, except for the smallest one, the smaller one. And so your electrician will run a power line. If you look at the Italian machines, you're going to see a term, you might miss it, and it's a tragic thing to miss. There is, after we get 220 volt, it's further divided into one phase or three phase. This building runs on three phase. We use a lot of power here. And three phase allows me to bring in twice as much electricity into the building as through a one phase line. So that sounds great on the surface. The problem is the power companies aren't offering three phase anymore. Because if it's not on the street, for me to bring it from the next street over to this building would cost about $40,000.
What about in a Publix mall, a Publix pub, would they have it?
The Publix store itself might have three phase.
So they could bring it into a neighboring store there?
But that would be about $7,000. To bring it into,
branch it
just
off?
to bring it right next door behind that glass would be $7,000. Now here's the problem though. If I was talking to you 15 years ago, you opened up a business and you owned the business. Nowadays, nobody owns the business because nobody, except Jeff, because people can't get money from banks. So you don't buy the building, you rent it. So if you have a three-phase machine like the Italians only build in, that machine will only run on three-phase. Won't run on single phase. So if the landlord throws you out because he thinks he can do a better job making ice cream than you do, and your lease is up in 3 years and he says, sorry, not renewing it, you have a three-phase machine that will not work in another building. Single phase works absolutely everywhere. So whatever you buy in equipment, just in general, make sure it is called single phase, because that means you can take it anywhere in North America. You can take it to Canada, you can take it to Mexico, you can take it to any country like Colombia, which is running on 60 hertz. You can take it to San Domingo, which is running on 60. Your machine is going to work absolutely everywhere. A three-phase machine, only three-phase. So that's important to know. And another reason why we really tell you don't buy used, because you don't really know what you're doing. It's pretty hard. How's that look?
Looks pretty dark.
Good.
I like it.
Now, we don't have a timer on the machine because Jeff can speak to this much better than me because he owns an ice cream parlor. We don't put timers on them as other manufacturers do because they have their machine shut off at 10 minutes no matter what. Boom, 10 minutes, it's done. That's great for vanilla, so we do it in 8. It's great for vanilla, but the higher the sugar content of the product, the longer the freezing time. So vanilla is 10 minutes. The raspberry I just made might be 11 minutes on their machine. So your machine shuts off. Look how fast that comes out. Can you stand to the side, Jeff? Isn't that beautiful? Now he pulls softer than I do. You can pull it at any thickness you want. And that's all natural.
Does it make a difference in the finish, early or late?
No.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
The
doesn't.
finish? Of course it does. What do you mean by the finish? Who said that?
No, what time? Whether you pull out stiffer,
Yeah.
I pull stiffer than you
So
do.
what do you mean by the finish?
The quality.
The quality, no.
Yeah, the quality doesn't make a difference. The reason I would pull stiffer is it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and I didn't plan my inventory right, and I just ran out of chocolate. And I need chocolate in that cabinet in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to pull it stiffer so I can start serving it right away.
It's a family show.
Jeff's trying to... Now, only you thought that up.
It's a family show.
All right, I can't say any more after that. You can pull at a consistency that you like.
You know, you're just digging a deeper hole here.
Come on up and try this.
Let me try it.
Oh, you got to try it first. I will too. Man. Oh, man.
It's good, right?
It's great. That.
Make these with cream.
That's the next one.
Oh, this one? Yeah, cream ice.
I know that. That's why I made it.
This
So
is
that you
delicious.
can have it.
Your base sugar
You use the same base for all your flavors.
My base sugar.
Yeah, your base mixture.
This was water.
Right, sugar and water. You use that same mixture
No,
for
it
all
changes
your
the-
flavors, or you're changing your sugar content for different flavors?
Well, hold that question until after the third product, and then you'll see how we're going to change it.
Fantastic.
If you're using, to answer it briefly, is if you're making a lemon ice, you're going to have one level of sugar. And if you're making a strawberry ice, you're going to have less sugar because your strawberries are going to bring more sugar to the table. So my lemon ice on a 20 quart is 7 pounds of sugar, 14 quarts of water, and 2 quarts of fresh squeezed lemon juice. If I'm making strawberry ice, that 7 pounds drops down to about 3 or 4 because I'm getting my flavor not from an extract, but from real strawberries. And so look at your total sugar package coming into the formula, not just what the last one was, because they're different.
I ate too much. I ate too much ice cream last night.
Oh, shut up. Eat it and sit down.
But did you pay for it last night?
No.
Oh,
No, we
gee.
went there last night with the fishing.
Hey, don't tell me I'm the one here. That's it?
Turned out all right. That was delicious.
Yeah, if I'm never making it.
Yeah. We could take a brief break.
Whatever you want.
We're ahead
Want
of
to take a
schedule.
break? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's refreshing. Chocolate chips, little brownie flavor.
And on a hot day, that's going to cool you
Why
off and
weren't you here
refresh
before?
Well, the bus went by quick.
And that costs probably about 3 cents an ounce to produce. So a 4-ounce portion, which is a quarter pound, you're looking at about 12 cents, maybe 15 at the most. You're selling it for $2, $2.50, $3. What the market will bear, it's just the most profitable thing you can sell is sugar and water. It's just fantastic. I put a lot of people into business with the countertop machine and start off doing sugar and water. It takes less equipment. In order to be in the Italian ice business, you need a 3-compartment sink. You need a batch freezer, and you need a Sears chest freezer, and that's just about it. If you want, you can also get a serving cabinet, like you see right over here, below the question mark, and that's all the equipment. When you get into ice cream, you're going to need a little more equipment. You're going to need more. You're going to need a mixed storage box to store the dairy product, but even that isn't that much more equipment. So it's an inexpensive business to get into. People will tell you that it costs $100,000 to open a store. Jeff, what would you say it costs?
Well, I did it on 13.
$1,000. So it can be done. Any other questions? We're going to take about a 5-minute break. If you want to stretch, we're going to clean out the machines and you can walk around.
Sammy, come here, girl.